Crashing back down to reality. Good old Arsenal. How? How can you go from beating Liverpool in the Premier League, beating City in the FA Cup, to then losing to Aston Villa? Oh my God, it is the most Arsenal thing, isn't it? It just is. Before the game started, I was doing my watch along. I said this would be the most Arsenal result ever if we were to lose after two incredible results. Lucky in some ways, but still very hard-fought wins. And do you know what? It just had to be. And I think it's tactical, guys. It's okay. This is fine. It just means we now go up against Watford and we can relegate them. Sorry, Troy. We've got no cojones, right? We're going to knock you out, okay? You're going down to the champ. Oh, no, it might not even happen. We'll probably lose that one as well. Right, let's talk about Arsenal losing to Aston Villa 1-0. My God, not only was it an extremely poor display from us, it was a bit of a boring game in general. I think players spent more time on the floor than they were with the ball at their feet. Doesn't help when you've got Grealish on the other team, though. Does like to lay on the floor a little bit. But to be fair, he's such a good player. You just can't get near him sometimes. He draws in those fouls, and yeah, he must be the most fouled player this season. Must be. I'm trying to work out if there's any other player that could come close. There probably is. I just can't think of it right now. But let's talk about my man of the match. Now, I should, again, clarify, it's not the game's man of the match. It's Arsenal's man of the match. And I would say our best player was Kolasinac with a 6.5 out of 10. I think that's quite generous. He was pretty good tonight, but because we didn't get the win and because no one really stood out, that's why he's our man of the match at just 6.5. I mean, we don't really have another player that I could pick out today. It was a very, very poor display from most of our players. And you know what? Wasn't a great display from Arteta either. I thought the lineup was just a bit... I don't know. It seems very clear to me that the Premier League it's not important anymore. And maybe that's a good thing because we can focus on the FA Cup final. I get that. We're not risking putting our full team out for a game that doesn't really gain anything for us. You know, we don't really have anything to play for now. You know, we're not going to get in the top 5. We're not going to get relegated. We're kind of just... This happens to a lot of teams this time of the year where there is... Well, not this time of the year usually, but this time of the season, you know, when you've got like, you know, five games-ish to go. Some teams, their season's done. They can't win anything. They can't lose out on anything. It's just kind of, yeah, let's just finish the season. And unfortunately, that's the case with Arsenal. We can't really achieve anything now. So I totally get resting players. You know, we clearly need to rest Xhaka. Tierney was another one that we clearly wanted to rest. Pepe, but they all came on and instantly improved the team, but just not enough. But yeah, I would say Kolasinac, you know, he started at left centre-back and eventually finished playing as a left centre-back with just another one. We started 3 at the back, we went to 4 at the back, didn't really notice much of a difference, but he was pretty solid today. But the goal that Aston Villa scored, I just need to talk about David Luiz because, you know, let's talk about the 2 City games, okay? Because we've seen complete opposites of David Luiz. You have the sideshow Bob, Bob David Luiz that played against City when we came back from lockdown. And then we had prime Thiago Silva David Luiz against City in the FA Cup. 2 completely different performances. One was a 1 out of 10, maybe a 0 out of 10, and one was a solid 9 out of 10. He was incredible against City at the weekend in the FA Cup and really was probably our best performer on the day, one of the best performers. And then against City at the beginning of the return to the Premier League, he was awful. So I've given him a bit of backstory here because we've seen both David Luiz's. Today we saw like the kind of in between, the guy that was okay, but wasn't anything special. But it's definitely down to him. This goal that we've given away, in my opinion, comes from a stupid corner. If you go back and watch the part of the play that gives away the corner, he's tried to take the ball away and then just clear it. And he's kind of tapped it with his toes, I guess. And it's gone out for a corner when I think he probably could have hooked it out for a throw. I really do firmly believe that he should have done better there. They get the corner, they whip it in, no one's on the end of it, it falls for Trezeguet, and he just freaking slams it into the bottom right corner. And it's an incredible goal. But do you know what? I saw it go in and I thought, that's fine. That's just going to fire us up. We'll be fine. We'll come back and we'll win this 3-1. You know, we'll get that goal and then we'll start to play on. But as you can see underneath me, that didn't happen. It just didn't happen. We hit the post with Nketiah, who I thought was pretty poor tonight. I don't think Nketiah really showed much tonight. That was his only chance of the game, really. Very unlucky not to score. Comes off the post and then goes straight into Rayner's hands. And what a legend Rayner is. What a career he's had. I bet he was very happy to see the ball bounce back right to his hands. I mean, the ball literally couldn't have been better placed for him to catch it. Otherwise, who knows? Maybe we could have got the rebound in. But yeah, really, that is the only chance that I remember being any close to being a goal. It just wasn't a good display today, attacking wise. Aston Villa just wanted it more. That's what this game comes down to, in my opinion. You've got a team that isn't really playing for anything and a team that is fighting for their lives. They are quite literally 90 minutes away from potentially getting relegated, you know, and it's a scary thought to be in that position, I'm sure. And they really, really wanted to get the result today, and they deserved it 100%. Tyrone Mings, wow. If he performs like that, he will get a big move to a big club, and he will end up being called up for England as well. You know, I'm a big fan of Tyrone Mings. I know he came back where. So he at Millwall or was it Ipswich? I can't quite remember what original club. He played as a left back, didn't he? And I always thought to myself, this guy's 6'5". Why are you playing him on the left side? Put him in at defence. This guy's going to be really quite a threat in the air, and he'll get every header out. He went to Bournemouth, didn't really quite make it. You know, he played at centre back, he played at left back, but now he's gone to Villa, and what a player! This guy. He just wins everything. He's quick. He's intelligent. I'm a big fan of his off the pitch antics as well. If you go over to Hector Bellerin's YouTube channel, he did a podcast with Tyrone Mings recently. It's really interesting. The guy is smart, man. He's a smart guy. And although I wouldn't necessarily take him at Arsenal, I think that we could potentially do better. I actually see Tyrone Mings playing for, like, you know, a Tottenham or an Everton or that sounds bad. I'm not saying that Tottenham are on Everton's level. They're not. I mean, Tottenham, whatever. I'm just saying I think maybe he should be looking to make another jump in his career, because with a performance like that, I mean, Villa owe him. He was so good today. Really, really good. I mean, they were all pretty decent. Big fan of Tyrone Mings. He was my actual man of the match, but the Arsenal man of the match was Kolasinac. Also, any problems with the referee today? You know, I don't think he had a particularly bad game. I saw a few comments in my live stream, people saying that he was being really soft. And of course, Arsenal get a ton of yellow cards again. It's definitely a trend. You know, if you look at the statistics, Arsenal have the most yellow cards and I believe the most red cards as well this season. We're definitely aggressive. We're trying to get the ball back as soon as we can under Arteta, and that is working against us at times, because when you're playing that aggressively, you're going to leave it late with some tackles. You're going to get some yellow cards. I would like to see that change, because I think people people underestimate how bad getting a yellow card is. A lot of people just think, it's a yellow card, right? But do you know what that means mentally to a player like Torreira, who got a yellow card in the first half? It blocks your thoughts of sliding in and making a challenge when you really need to, because you're worried you're going to get another yellow card. It's a massive mental block, and we get it too often. It's a problem for sure. As soon as a player is on a yellow card on the other team, I'm a happy man, because I'm thinking, especially if it's one of their defensive midfielders or a centre back, I know that they are going to be very, very cautious. They're not going to want to slide in for these last ditch tackles. They're not going to try and get the ball when they maybe can't get it. You know, they're not going to lunge in, and it's dodgy. It really is, and I'm really fed up with just the constant yellow cards. It's a problem, and we need to really make sure that we do better in that regard. But with the way we're playing, you know, we're pressing, we are trying to win the ball back as soon as we lose it, you're just going to get yellow cards. But why do we have the most? Are we the most aggressive team in the league? No, I don't think so. So that's definitely something that Arteta will have to work on. It's just timings. It's making tackles when you should and winning the ball cleanly and not taking the man out before it. And, you know, there's so many... there's moments when a team will get on the break, like Aston Villa today, and we're just tugging their shirts, we're pulling them down, and it's it's too easy for the referee to give a yellow. If you want to foul someone, make it hard to give a yellow. At least make it look like it was a clean tackle. But honestly, I think if we could get away with less yellow cards, we would be much better off. Because Torreira had to come off, and I was quite enjoying Torreira. It was nice to see him start today next to Ceballos, who also had a very, very good game. Yeah, it is a shame. But do you know what? I said this in the stream as well. In a way, I felt kind of bad at the thought of beating Villa today, because I don't dislike Villa at all. I actually quite like them, and I want them to stay in the Premier League. And the thought that if we were to beat them today, it could potentially contribute to them being knocked down into the Championship again. And I don't know, I felt a little bit uneasy about it. I guess it's because it's Villa. If it was someone else, maybe I wouldn't have worried too much. I mean, Watford are a club that I also quite like, but Troy Deeney has a history with Arsenal, and I think that would be quite fitting, wouldn't it, if Arsenal were to relegate them next week. But yeah, that's another game, and potentially we might not even win that game. It really could happen. We could go from City and Liverpool wins to then losses against two teams fighting in a relegation, because we have nothing to fight for. It's a mental thing. That's why Aston Villa deserved it for sure. But of course, the FA Cup is going to be against Chelsea. I wasn't able to mention that in the last video review because, of course, they were yet to play. I'm really excited for the FA Cup final. That's the game we all really, of course, want to win. I think we will win that game. I think that Arteta knows that maybe the players are thinking about it, tunnel vision on the FA Cup final, and maybe that's why they weren't really present today. We looked really jaded, and it didn't look like we cared so much, but I would have still liked to win this. It's not nice losing games. Maybe a draw, just something, but it is what it is. We lose again. Not so long ago, I was bragging that Arsenal have lost less games than City, and now we've lost 2 more than them. So, yeah, that stat's gone. Not great. But thank you guys for watching. It's always good to do the watch-alongs on Twitch. I know I mention it pretty much every video, but I'd really appreciate it if you guys would follow me over on Twitch and take part in the watch-alongs. It's great fun. I just sit there, chat football, watch the game. We all laugh. There's memes. And yeah, it's great fun. And I'd love it if you guys would go over and follow me. We're almost at 100,000. But until the next one, and tomorrow we've got a new series coming back, so I'm really excited about that. I'll see you next time.